But you been watching much AEW?
Yes and no. I don't keep up with every episode, but I'll listen to podcasts, and if something sounds cool, I'll make it a point to go back and watch. I try to watch the pay-per-views when they...
Big one coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess by the time this airs, it will have passed, but I think it's safe to say that MJF is going to win the title.
Probably,
yeah.
Hopefully. I'm still hoping that the whole CM Punk Elite thing is a work.
I'm a Punk fan.
Yeah, love him. Love the guy.
I love him. And
like, a guy who looks like shit and complains about his job all the time? Yeah.
Right. I watched that. Did you see the
Scrum?
The Scrum,
oh, yes.
where he went up?
Yeah.
So I was watching that. I guess it was live or recorded that same night or whatever, but I the whole time I'm like, there's no way this is real. He's just sitting there casually eating a muffin, going off on everybody, dropping F-bombs left and right, and Tony Khan, his boss, is like sitting there staring at him, and like there's no way he would say all this in front of his boss and not be shut down. But I don't know. They just announced last night the Elite are coming back for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. So I'm a big CM Punk fan. He's one guy that I kept tabs on, even when I wasn't necessarily watching wrestling, because of his connection to like the punk scene. And like, I'd go to these shows and see the Bouncing Souls or Rancid or whatever. And they'd, especially in Chicago, he'd come out and do some gang vocals with them or whatever. So I like him. It's interesting. Like I was telling my wife that, I see some of myself in him, in the sense that he doesn't always have a popular opinion, but he stands up for what he believes is right. Yeah. I mean, and that's, people hate on him because like, oh, he's cranky and he's an old man or whatever. Like, well, I'm in my 40s too.
Like, yeah,
I can be cranky at times too, but
I can relate. Yeah.
I can relate. But he always does. It comes across in certain ways because of the delivery, maybe. But he always he tries to do what he thinks is right, and he stands up, and he doesn't like, as they say, he doesn't suffer fools, lightly, and I think that's cool. I mean, that's pretty punk rock.
The man broke his foot jumping into the crowd to hug the fans, and then tried to wrestle afterwards. That says everything you need to know about it.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I have a few wrestling shirts, and one of them CM Punk.
I've been buying. Al Snow has a company called Collar and Elbow, and they're like they're wrestling shirts, but they're not just like wrestler's face on it. It's like little nods to people who know in jokes and little things about wrestling.
Oh, cool.
They're pretty cool.
You have to show me that after we get off here.
Yeah, I bought one recently. It's like a big like Japanese tattoo style tiger, and it just says like Tiger Driver 99 on it.
Oh yeah. So
cool.
just like nobody has any idea what it means unless you know what it know the reference. That's pretty cool. Speaking of like big faces on shirts, I have a Danhausen shirt.
That dude's great. Yeah.
He's somebody, like, I was a fan before I ever saw him wrestle, and seeing him wrestle, they don't do much with him in AEW, unfortunately. Hopefully he gets a push at some point.
The problem with him in AEW is that they already have Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, they have the comedy.
You don't need two guys who are just completely ridiculous. But like, if it was just one of them, they could definitely slot him into like that Hurricane Helms.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because they didn't really know what to do with them. They kind of just like, aligned them together.
I like the thing that he had going with Hook, and then that just disappeared.
Hookhausen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was during the pandemic, but I was watching. I'd see him pop up everywhere, and like, okay, there's a picture of CM Punk with this weird guy in this like demon face paint or whatever, but he's always like doing this, like what is this? And I started watching some wrestling, some videos, and I saw the one where he was like wrestling in the bar doing the tequila dance. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You seen that one?
No, I have not, but I'll look that up later.
It's pretty fantastic. He's literally wrestling this giant dude in a bar.
I'm a fan of anyone doing the tequila dance.
Yeah, and he does a tequila dance like on top of the bar, and they're just like, there's like 20 people, and they're going nuts, and it's just, so I'm like, who is this guy? And it's interesting though, because like Tony Khan doesn't know what to do with him, but he moves merch.
Yeah.
And he's super popular. He can just not even do anything, just walk out, wave to the crowd, and everybody goes apeshit for him.
Yeah, no, he's as far as the gimmick side of wrestling goes, he's got that down 1,000%.
So I don't know. I think they're going to end up pushing him like with a darker angle. I think it seems like that.
So I've only seen him wrestle on like so I watched the Dark shows on YouTube because it reminds me of WCW Saturday Night.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Like I enjoy watching name wrestlers just squash young becoming wrestlers.
Everybody hates the squash matches, but they're fun. Yeah.
I was just recently, Abaddon made a comeback, and like she's gotten in like pretty good shape. And
I was wondering where she's been.
She was just for the last month. She was doing a lot of cool little matches on Dark, and then I saw the other day she hurt herself doing some indie show.
They got to tighten that up. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I think it's just because they don't do house shows, so it's like to let the wrestlers.
I get it. I think it just passed, but like maybe last weekend or this upcoming weekend, I forget. It was not this upcoming weekend, but Mox and Swerve Strickland were doing some little indie show in Dayton. You know, and I'm like,
that's weird.
That's really like, oh, that's cool, but
it's cool, but like having your top guy,
like Swerve is no slouch himself. You know what I mean? Great. Like your top guy, and then like one of your upper mid card guys. That's a danger. It's a slippery slope. I'll say that. I don't know, but yeah. So,
can we just talk wrestling this whole time?
I
play some songs.
I think. I mean, so I've had like so many. So we've had some heavy episodes. Like it's nice just to like sip some bourbon and talk wrestling too. You know
like
what I mean?
I've been like lightweight nervous about this. I haven't done any interview in years. The last time I did an interview was probably in like 2006.
Yeah.
On a college radio station in Cleveland with a hardcore band I played in. And like we just shot the shit.
Yeah.
You know, just completely, they just joked and made asses of ourselves, and then we just played a live set. And like I was thinking, like, you know, I write sad songs. That's really all I got.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, man. I
like funk rock. You know. But we get into wrestling. I could talk wrestling all day.
Yeah, like I said, like, you know, I love going deep and like getting like super, you know, serious and heavy with conversations and stuff like that. But also, you know, it's fun just to have, you know, just talk about like nerd out.
Yeah.
About stuff.
Yeah, I like to nerd out.
Do you know? Go ahead.
I was like this project that I'm doing now was just a side project before COVID, and then after COVID, like, you know, no practice, no bands, no nothing. So I just kind of started focusing on it more, and then the Stoop came around.
Yeah.
And you know, my friends run the place, Matt and Vinny.
So tell me about the Stoop, because like I know some people go to the shows there. They're telling me you got to check it out, and I'm an old man and I don't go out like I used to, but I need to check it out, I guess.
Did you ever go to Bernie's back in the day?
No, I wasn't here.
No? I can't remember how long it's been since they closed down.
Yeah, I don't think I was here. I don't know of it.
So Bernie's was like the punk rock bar in Columbus for decades.
Okay.
And like great bands would roll through. There's like a scene full of people. The only problem with it is there was a lot of bad apples there. You know, like a lot of drug use, a lot of, you know, dudes who were just blackout, fall down drunk all the time. The place reeked of urine.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I will say, like the urine part is not like an automatic disqualifier. Like, it's one of my favorite bars.
The Stoop. The Stoop is all of the positive things from that.
Yeah.
And none of the negatives.
Okay.
Like it's.
So just a great experience. Like it really kind of encompasses the community aspect of the punk scene.
It's a place where everyone is welcome. Like it's one of the few venues I've played in Columbus in years where it's like you can see like little kids there, you can see older people there.
That's cool.
Anybody.
And it's like no alcohol, right? Is it all ages or something like that?
It's all ages. It's BYOB if you're 21.
Okay.
So you can bring a 6-pack or a cooler or whatever, but they don't serve anything.
That's the good way to do it. I know like Rachel from Bands in the Bus.
Yeah, she's great.
And like she just told me about it.
I met her there actually.
Oh yeah, That's cool. She's doing really great things just for the local music scene. I think it's really awesome. So her and just some other people that I know, and like they go to shows there and stuff. And it's like, yeah, man, I got to get out there. You know, I got to get
definitely.
out there.
They're really good about booking touring bands as well. Like there's been some like I've seen some shows there where it's like, how the hell did you get these guys to come here?
What's the setup like in there, like stage wise?
So.
Is it an actual stage?
Yeah, Matt. One of the owners, Matt's a carpenter. So, like,
helps.
It's cool. It's like it's got its own look. When you walk in through the front door, and then the stage is right to your right, and it's set up to look like a front porch stoop. Like they've got
that's cool.
front porch door and all that. And then it's just kind of like a long room, almost like the Foundry in Cleveland, if you've ever been there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of set up like that. But instead of a bar, they have a mini ramp for skaters.
Oh, yeah.
With
I've
a
heard.
cage around it.
I think maybe I've seen a picture of that or somebody told me about it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So they actually have like skating events there, or is it just like what's just an additional thing to do?
While the bands are playing, kids skate the whole time. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be doing that. Those days are behind me. The knees can't hold up anymore for that, sadly. So how did you said like, the project that you're on now, and I guess like consider your solo project, or
Yeah.
so that came about during COVID, essentially. Is that what you were saying?
So I had
And you played the Stoop.
right after like things got lifted.
Gotcha.
I think February of this year was like my first like show there. I had done like little things throughout the years. I always played in bands. Usually I was either playing guitar or bass.
Okay. Okay.
And then I write a lot, and usually I would just write little songs. I'm a big fan of like alt country and singer-songwriter stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to Jackson Brown at home way too much.
Was that always the case, or did that happen as you got a little older?
Always. I always like that kind of stuff.
Cool.
But I always kind of, it was just like I just wrote as like a hobby, like to keep fresh and. And I think I was at my old man's one day, and he mentioned like, I've heard some of that stuff that you write on your own. You should probably do something with that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, and my dad's a musician. I looked up to him growing up.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, well, if you say so, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I think in 2013, when my kid was born, I just went and recorded the solo stuff. Thinking like, yeah, well, I want her to know she can do, anything. It's like, hey, I did this. You do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But I never really truly pursued it. And then after COVID, it was like, well, it's either now or never.
Mm-hmm.
So
was that because it was necessary? It was a little easier? But like a variety of factors coming into it.
I think it was
easier to get out there and do your own thing, and
it's a little,
also the creative
easier,
aspect.
and it also it's more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Like I think I got like, especially during COVID, I got more into songwriting. It was like, I have things to say now.
Yeah.
and I didn't, but I felt that way at the time.
No, that's funny. So I think we were saying this before we started recording, but like I saw you. You said your second show, maybe?
Yeah, second
solo
show
of this year. Of this year, yeah. Open for Nathan Gray and the Iron Roses at the Big Room Bar. That was super fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. My buddy Brian Ostrander, who runs Distinct Populace, and booked that, and kind of out of nowhere just asked me if I was interested in opening up, and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Like
a lot of fun.
We chatted a bit after the show. You handed me like a giant stack of stickers. Said, pass these out. I was like, okay, sure, man. That was really fun, though.
I vaguely remember that.
No, I don't expect you to. I just thought it was funny.
It was as soon as
you were putting me to work.
I had done a good bit of whiskeying before I got on stage, and then after I got off stage, people just kept coming up to me with shots. And I was like, yes, I'll drink them.
That's a good sign. That's how you know. That's one way to know that people enjoyed the set.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Have you played with any other? Like for me, Nathan Gray is somebody that I've been into for a long time. The Boy Sets Fire. Anybody else that has been kind of a cool deal for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Before COVID hit, I did about 10 years in a pop punk band called Dead Set Ready.
Okay, yeah.
And we toured regionally pretty heavily.
Yeah.
We've gotten to share stage with bands like Red City Radio, Iron Chic,
okay,
Masked Intruder. Like I've played with a lot of like really cool bands.
Anybody that was kind of like a whoa moment for you?
No, but I've had a couple of hangouts that were weird. Like
weird.
I'm friends with the guys in Lucero, which is a band that I fell in love with when I was 17.
Yeah,
I had to have a friendly conversation with Dan Andriano in Pennsylvania after a show once, and he's like the dude who when I was learning how to play guitar, his songs were like the ones that I was like, yes, I want to.
Okay, because I was gonna say like you remind me of him musically.
Yeah,
like a real Alkaline Trio kind of thing going.
Yeah, I've got the tattoo up here. I took a lot from them when I was first learning how to play.
Yeah, man, cool. That's cool. So you got to be friendly with the guys from Lucero. They're awesome. One of my favorite bands too.
Yeah, really good. They were just here a couple of weeks ago.
I know.
I hung out with them until almost 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Their tour bus was nicer than my house. I was really mad about it.
Well, good for them, I guess. Yeah, they've been plugging away for a long time, so
I said
they
to
deserve
Ben,
that.
like, I've seen you blackout drunk on the floor at Bernie's, and now you're rolling around in something that's nicer than what I pay too much money for. Good for you.
That's funny. That's success. That's good. That's really cool. Yeah. So, you guys were together for about 10 years, you say. What happened there? Was COVID kind of a...
Yeah, I think COVID just kind of, everything just came to a stop.
Yeah.
We hadn't recorded anything in a while, and our singer had just recorded a solo album himself that I played a little bit on. It was really good. So I've been kind of pushing him to go that route. I'm like, hey, let's just do this together.
It's funny how many of these conversations I've had with musicians involves, COVID happened and then this happened afterward, because it
changed everything. It changed how you look at everything.
You had a year and a half, 2 years, depending on, is it still going? I don't know, but to really kind of reevaluate things.
So after that Nathan Gray show, I was pumped. I was like, hell yeah, let's start booking stuff.
It seemed like it was headed that way.
2 days later, had COVID. Stuck in the house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
that's
but for me personally, a lot of it is having been in. Most of my bands had done regional touring, and you go out, and the first couple of days are a great time, and then by day 5 it's like we don't have any money because between gas and food for everybody and everything, it's hard. And and the one thing with Ohio is we're stuck right in the middle. Yeah. So unless you're hitting hubs and just doing loops in the hubs, you're mostly burning your gas up in Indiana.
I feel like there's a song right there. And it's got to be easier, and I've had this discussion with people as well, and kind of doing a solo project or whatever, and go that route, and it's all right, well, there's instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what I mean? So the money stretches a little farther, and then it becomes a little bit more profitable for you, and also. I think the main reason, like you were saying earlier, just creatively fulfilling. Yeah. You have something to say, and you get a chance to put that out there.
It's I'm not a songwriter who hits on the heavy issues, but I definitely do the airing of the grievances.
I think it's important. It's a form of therapy. For you, for definitely. the audience, everybody watching. Yeah. I went to the Joe Walsh concert the other night with
my boss went to that.
Yeah,
I heard it was fantastic.
It was great, man. Just I'm a big 9 Inch Nails fan, and that was the best I'd ever seen them. And Dave Grohl was there. It was just a really special thing, and and Joe Walsh was talking about there. My dad was a big fan of his. I saw Joe Walsh has got a special place in my heart for sure, and that's the first time I ever saw him, which was really cool. And he was talking about the importance of going to concerts. Mm-hmm. He goes, I'm paraphrasing here, but the gist of it was, you go to a concert and you can kind of forget about the hope is you forget about many troubles you may have, live in the moment, and you leave in a better state of mind, in a better place afterward, and he talked about how it's important for him. It's important for, it was really, really cool, and then his son was out there, 9 Inch Nails saved my life, he said, and I'm like, man, yeah, a lot of people get that. And so it's really cool to see somebody who's Joe Walsh has got nothing to prove to anybody. He's an absolute legend, and he still gets why what he does is so important. And I think every level shows I've been to when I'm one of 3 people in the crowd, the shows like that one when there's 15, 20,000 people, it's the same. If you're connecting with the music and and you're having a bad day, a bad run of luck in your life, you leave in a better spot, a better place.
Yeah, a song can take you, please. A song can help you time travel. It'll take you back to where you were when you first heard it, or a moment in your life when it was playing.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most intense kind of like triggers to memory.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
I mean
that's why oldies are always and will always be a thing. Also, how fucked up is it that in like another 10 years, Nookie by Limp Bizkit is going to be an oldie?
Classic rock.
It's a great song.
Can you imagine, like, in the future, like visiting a retirement home? They're playing the music of their era.
A lot of saggy face tattoos. It's gonna be great.
Oh my god, it's weird. It's weird enough to me that, like we're saying, we're about the same age. A lot of the bands that we grew up on are now kind of being played on classic rock stations.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
It's uncomfortable.
It's weird seeing Blink-182 back together again, and like you see the pictures and you're like, ooh.
I know. It's wild. I mean, I'm sad to see. I feel like I was in the minority. I liked Matt Skiba in the band.
Mm-hmm. I liked him too. Yeah, that album was really good.
Yeah, I thought he was cool. I mean, his vocals are very similar to Mark Hoppus in a way, and not as different as Mark's and Tom's.
Also, in my mind, I was thinking, should I say it? Should I say it? But I'm whiskeyed up. I'll say it. Matt Skiba has the best comb over in rock and roll. That thing is like a sideways devil lock. It's amazing.
I never knew sideways devil.
It's amazing. I commend him for it.
Yeah, I like to have a comb over off between him and Jerry only. See who would win that one. I never knew how crazy the comb over was until like I saw him. You can't tell on stage.
Yeah.
But I was at this show in New York, and they were like in the street behind, the whole band like loading in and whatever. And he was walking in, and I'm like, oh, that's Matt Skiba. Like, oh wow, that's a little, I can't help it. I noticed it.
Yeah.
Who cares? You lose your hair sometimes. It happens.
He's a rock star though, so he can. It's his thing. He can make.
It's his thing.
He can make fetch happen.
Yeah, but I. That's funny. Sideways comb over. Sideways devil lock. But yeah, I'm excited to see the original lineup back together. I was never like the biggest Blink fan. I like them more now than what I did in the moment because I'll admit whenever they were at their peak, I was still very much in my that's not punk rock phase. You know what I mean? Because it didn't meet a certain criteria that I set for what punk rock should be.
Yeah.
And that's stupid, but that's how you are when you're young, and I didn't realize it, but I was a bit of a gatekeeper, and it just, as the years go by, you develop an appreciation for some of these bands that I'm bummed that I didn't let myself enjoy them when they were doing their thing back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But here we are, and I guess I get a chance to see them, for the crazy ticket prices that are going around right now with them and Bruce Springsteen and Taylor Swift and Harry Styles and everybody.
They got to make their money.
Well, it's not them though. I blame Ticketmaster.
Well, Ticketmaster is the devil. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ticketmaster. I love you.
They're not. No, they're not watching. Ticketmaster isn't watching. Ticketmaster, you are trash unless you want to sponsor Unauthorized.
I take it back. I take it all back. Forgive me, corporate overlords.
Oh, mercy. But yeah.
So the craziest thing for me in this year is the band Turnstile.
Oh yeah, they're great.
They are fantastic.
They're going out with Blink.
Their bass player was the drummer for my first band.
Oh yeah.
I showed him a little bit about how to play bass.
That's awesome.
And then he took it and did more than I did with it. The son of a bitch.
Just means you're a great teacher.
I'm super, super proud. The other day I saw they got nominated for a Grammy. I was like, that's
for real.
Fucking crazy.
Wow.
But more so like the tour with Blink is like, wow. I'm going to have so many girls bothering me to try to get free Blink-182 tickets in a couple of months.
Are you single?
No, I am not.
Okay, that's a problem.
They shall not be getting said tickets.
That's a problem, then. You can go one of two ways with that. No, but they're great though. This is going to be huge for them. I mean, they're very popular on their own, but Blink-182's fan base is insane.
I mean, yeah, that's but like with them, it's just like it's like they started. It's like, oh, these guys are pretty good. And it's like, oh, these guys are blowing up. All right. And every time we'd be in town, I'd be like, hey, man, I'm proud of you. You're doing it really great. And then just in the last like 8 months, it's just been like, Holy shit, dude.
So tell me if I'm crazy, but I don't hear it as much now because I'm more familiar with their stuff. And when I first started hearing their songs, they reminded me of like a heavier Third Eye Blind. Is that crazy?
No, not at all. They got
and I like Third Eye Blind. It's not an insult. It's a cool thing.
Going further back from Third Eye Blind though, like they have like a little bit of like a first second wave ska.
They do
sound.
Yeah.
With the way the bass is played and everything.
Yeah.
Like they get into like little rock steady parts, which is really cool.
I guess I should specify like some guitar and vocals.
Yeah,
is really where I'm coming from with that. I don't hear it as much now, but for a minute there,
that's a good thing then when you can do your own thing, and it also reminds people of another band that was huge and that they liked. You know,
yeah, Third Eye Blind are a fun band. I've never seen them in concert or anything, but like I still like them. You know, I think that's a compliment, right? There's somebody that's been there, done that, sold the albums, sold the tickets. You know,
they had some good songs.
Yeah. But I think that they're
no Matchbox 20, but
why is it that like I think Third Eye Blind's like those are kind of cool, but like Matchbox 20, nope. But they're not that different. I don't understand.
I love Bob Thomas.
Yeah,
that man just sings his little heart out.
You know, yeah. So funny story. I used to work in radio, and I was working for CBS, station called K Rock in New York, and we had this big event that we did at what was it called? City Field? The new Mets, not new, but at the time it was when the Mets closed down Shea Stadium and then went over to, I think, what's called City Field. It was like 08, 09, something like that. And we had to do a launch. We had this big event there, and like, I don't remember a ton of the artists, but I remember Kid Cudi was there, which was really cool. And some of the different, you know, like rock and roll, some hip hop, a little bit of everything in between. A lot of autograph signings by former Yankees and Mets greats, and Rob Thomas was doing an autograph signing. And I have never seen the moms come out like they did for him. This guy, I thought that I was witnessing, you know, the Beatles in their heyday. And this guy was the most popular thing that I've ever seen in my entire life at that moment.
Everything moves so fast now, it's easy to forget. Do you remember how big Smooth was?
That's true.
That was like the biggest song in the world for like 2 years.
To this day, just to annoy my wife whenever it's really warm out there, and I'll give you one guess what I say.
Oh, so smooth.
No, it's a hot one.
Oh, okay. I don't know all the words to the song.
That's how it starts. That's the first. I do it in my.
It's a big song. I didn't say I liked it.
I don't like it either. For the record, I just want to make it clear. I do like Carlos Santana though, but in my best 90s rock and roll voice, you know, Collective Soul, Creed, all those guys put together.
Oh, they were kind of great.
How about the first album?
The lead guitar player was fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything else isn't.
Well, you know, like the Scott Stapp had kind of a Jesus complex, and then it just got worse with everything that he did.
Do you know what the best thing about Creed was?
Please tell me.
It gave us Disturbed.
Wait, what?
Yeah, think about it. Leather pants, arms wide open.
You're not wrong.
But also you get
yeah, you're not wrong.
It's great. Every time I play, I want to do that in every song. But
you can do it.
I hold it back.
Yeah, you can hold it back. that would be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that. It might throw me off a little bit though if somebody randomly did that out of context. So what's in store for you coming up? So
absolutely nothing.
Oh, come on now. Like what are
I have nothing booked. I usually stop around this time of year cuz nobody's touring and
yeah. It's nice. I mean, nice to enjoy the, you know,
you gotta do the holidays
and the holidays and everything.
I'm threatening to go in the studio and record again.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done that. Some of my friends have told me, "Hey, you should go in and record an acoustic album," because the album I have on Spotify and on Apple Music and Bandcamp, Drake Talbot, is
we'll plug it again at the end.
Full band.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't have anything solo, like acoustic, recorded out there.
No. So like usually in the studio, like I'll go in and I'll mean to do it, and then I'm like, well, I could play all the other stuff too.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And you know, I get ahead of myself, but I do want to go in probably here in another month or so and just try to get like a good all the songs just acoustic.
That'd be awesome.
And then I've been working on a second album that I want to go in and record with a live band. Mm-hmm. And then next year, I hope to be able to hit the road again and not get horribly sick.
Would you do one versus the other, or a mix of both? Go out with a full band.
I can mix of both. So I have two of my best friends in the world, Corey Sabo and Christopher Kessner, play with me as a 3-piece on occasion. But I usually, for that, it's like it's got to be worth their time to have practice for a week and take off work and all that.
Sure.
Whereas for myself, like if you ask me to play a show like a day in advance, if I think it's cool, I'll be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can do that, right?
Yeah,
that's cool though. It's nice to be able to have the option to kind of
and that is like have the option, not to be. I don't want to say like under the thumb of other people, but not to have other people rely on your bad decisions. Like I still play in bands. I'm in a band with two of my best friends. Chris Kessner and Joel Chastain, who's in the band Matter of Planets. Mm-hmm. We've got a project called Rooks that we're going to try to get a little heavy on next year. Okay. And then I just joined a thrash metal band on bass called Unholy Swarm. And that band is, the drummer for that band is in the band Midnight, who is just getting off of a tour with Merciful Fate.
Yeah. Do you have a preference when you like get with those guys in like a certain style that you really get into right now or at this point? Is it your stuff, the solo stuff? Probably that was really where the focus is.
I just like to play, really.
It seems like it, yeah.
Like that's all I've done since I was 19 years old.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty diverse though, the different styles that you're talking about here with all of that. So
I know my big as far as like big plans, it'll probably be in 2 years. I'm working on writing like a full blown country album.
That's cool.
Like I want to have pedal steel and mandolin
that's awesome.
and all of that.
And get Ben in. To do some guest vocals.
he lives in Ohio. I could probably harass him enough.
Yeah, I didn't know that until recently. Is that a new thing?
And he's been here for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He got out of Memphis. He fell in love with a girl and got married and had kids and stuff. And he was like, "Well, if you want to get married and have kids, Ohio is the place to do it."
Apparently so. Yeah, it's worked out all right for me.
Me and the old lady just bought a house recently.
Oh, right on. Congrats.
I was like, "Really? They sold us a house?"
Hurry, let's move our stuff in before
it's the place to do it.
That's fantastic. So whenever you record, is the goal to get it out in a physical format as well?
Oh God, no.
No?
No.
I would buy the record.
I love people who still do that.
Yeah.
I always feel bad when my friends put stuff out and they're like, "Here, have this CD or have this record." And I'm like, I don't have any way to play this in my house. Put it on Spotify and take my 6 cents per stream.
Fair enough.
Or Bandcamp. So Bandcamp is kind of my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Bandcamp is pretty cool as far as corporate overlords go.
They're better the artist than Spotify, are they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. Again, no problem with Spotify if they want to sponsor the show or your tour. Yeah. We'll take their money.
Spotify is a great idea. If Spotify beats up Ticketmaster, they got my vote. Everything should be solved in a cage match, I feel like. We're getting closer and closer to that as a society.
I feel like the sweet spot for that would have been like 16 to 20 in our society. That would have been where cage matches would have been really thrived. God. Well, all right, man. I appreciate you taking some time, sit down, chat a little bit about you and your music. Tell everybody again where they can find your stuff, and then
so
not physical copies, all digital. But online.
I had physical copies for a while, and they just took up space. I was like, get out of here.
I get it.
So, DrakeTalbot.bandcamp.com. Look me up on Facebook or Insta. You can add my personal or my band thing, just Drake Talbot. And I'm on Spotify if you want to contribute to the 6 cents per stream. I think I'm at like $8 right now, so I could cash out once I got 50.
Let's make it happen, people.
And I'm on Apple Music and all that business too.
Right on. Yeah. So if you are familiar, then you know where to find this stuff. If you're not, then you're going to want to stick around because you're going to play some songs for us, which I'm really excited about.
I will fumble my way through a couple of songs.
Yeah, so let's get to it, shall we? Cheers.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Drake Talbot. This song's called Snake Eyes. It's about being a fucking loser. To steal a phrase, we suffer well. Work so hard just to bide our time in this living hell. We sing praise to the fickle gods. I pray for luck as we fight against odds. I'm tired of waiting for nothing. I'm tired of losing all the time. I'm tired of always wanting. I'm sick and tired and I'm losing my mind. I just can't beat this losing streak. I roll the dice and hit snake eyes week after week. I'd give it up if I had a choice, but I'm a fucking fool that just keeps singing when he's lost his voice. I'm tired of waiting for nothing. I'm tired of losing all the time. I'm tired of always wanting. I'm sick and tired and I'm losing my mind. I'm tired of waiting for nothing. I'm a loser who's running out of time. I'm a gambler betting on a future that could never be mine. I'm tired of waiting for nothing. I'm tired of losing all the time. I'm tired of always wanting. I'm sick and tired and I'm losing my mind. Woo!
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds really good through here.
Thank you. So I got a little daughter. She's 9 years old. Her name is Rosalie. I love her to death. And when she first started talking, one of the things she would say to me all the time, she'd look me right in the face. Probably about 2, 3 years old. She'd say, "Dad, are you sure? Dad, are you sure, Dad? Are you sure?" And it was the weirdest thing. And I'd just be like, yeah, kid. Yeah, sure. Like out of nowhere, unprovoked. And then one day, I was having a real shit day. I was really fucking low. And she's sitting there playing with her little toys. And she looks at me and she says, "Dad, are you sure?" And I look at her and say, "Yes, I am." And I picked up a bass guitar and I went in the bathroom and I wrote this fucking song. So this song is called "Are You Sure?" It's Rosalie's song. Took so long to find the right words to say. Usually never at a loss, but it's different today. You're the only one I hope never goes away. And I love to hear you say, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" Never forget the first time I saw your face. Never know how much you made this old fool change. So used to be the one who walks away. For you I'll always stay. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Days come and go, I'll always be right here. You're a little ball and chain around my heart, my dear. Want you to know, never too far away. Love you more than life, I love to hear you say. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Oh, baby, yes, I'm sure. I'm done. Oh, fuck.
Boxland Media. Think big.